You didn't get that, did you? What's up? I am in my office in Cleveland, Ohio, and had something go down on an 8-figure deal that is just friggin' mind-boggling that this happened. And I thought I'd share it. And the importance of not stepping over dollars to pick up dimes, kind of a thing. So I have an 8-figure deal down in Georgia, multiple 8 figures. This is a $31.5 million deal. It's a small portfolio of about 400 doors. We're looking to sell it, right? We're into this thing for like $17 million. We're selling it for $31.5 million. We've already refinanced, cashed out all of our investors, took $1 million of non-taxable refi proceeds off the table. So our loan's like $19 million, and we have a $12.5 million gain on this. Property's in pretty good shape. You know, we bought it low, we renovated about a quarter of the property, turned those units, bumped up some rents, put management in place, third party. I have a joint venture partner who is the majority partner on it and is handling the majority of the work and the project management, property management, asset management, and like boots on the ground side of things. And we contract the property with a buyer who's going to close in 90 days. The joint venture partner tells the management company to not cut the grass and just do it like once a month at most. And then he tells the joint venture he tells the management company not to open up the pools because that's going to cost, I don't know, 20 grand or whatever it was on the pools. And he's trying to save, I don't know, a couple $1,000s a month on landscaping, trying to save $20,000, $30,000 on opening up the pools and not turning any units also. Said, hey, don't evict anybody. We want to keep the physical occupancy up so it looks good, for this transaction. Unbeknownst to me, right? I'm the loan sponsor and I brought some cabbage, some money to the deal. All that money's off the table, so really my only responsibility is being on the loan. And it wasn't in the day-to-day operations. So I don't know that this is happening. We're going down the road. Interest rates start increasing. The buyer comes in between interest rates and then their due diligence period, comes back and says, hey, the grass isn't being cut. None of the pools are open. And you guys are only at like 80% economic occupancy, right? Because 20% of the tenants aren't paying. That's like 80 people are more than a month delinquent on their rent. And he brings us up, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And so I call up the management company, I call the boots on the ground. All of this stuff comes to the surface. And I realize that in an effort to save on eviction fees, to save on landscaping bills, and to save on chlorine and opening up the friggin' pool, I don't know, let's call it $50,000. The buyer asked for a $1 million price reduction. Trying to save 50 grand cost us $1 million in a price reduction. Now we went back and forth, ended up settling at 500,000, but it's still friggin' bullshit that we have to do anything because we should have just been managing the property how it was supposed to be managed the entire time. Now here's best case scenario. The buyer doesn't realize anything and they're too dumb. You think a buyer's too dumb if they're buying a $30 million deal? No. And they're too dumb to realize it, and we save 50 grand, okay? That's best. What's middle case scenario? We end up having to renegotiate and give a $500,000 discount to the buyer. Worst case scenario is they say, hey, give me my earnest money back that's non-refundable because you stopped managing the property. Not only do we give them their earnest money back, that was supposed to be non-refundable because they have a case now that they should have it refunded to them, but even more so, now I got a property that hasn't been managed for the past 60 days with 80 delinquent tenants in place, grass up to your hips, right? And pools that are all green in the middle of summer in Georgia. I'm like, how? You must need a friggin' lobotomy in order to think that's the right way to manage a property. So the lesson here is even though you have a buyer under contract with a property that you're selling, you need to continue managing that property as if that buyer is going to fall out because you're going to be left with some dump of a property with horrible tenants, horrible management, horrible renovations, and a bunch of money that you're gonna have to redeploy into the project in order to do that. So as soon as I found this out, I infused $150,000 into getting all those tenants evicted, or at least posting notices. And guess what happens as soon as you post a notice? Half of them end up paying rent, right? The other half end up trying to get some sort of subsidy from a, and we actually have money coming in now, right? We also get the pools turned over, so now there's less tenant turnover because now they can actually swim in the pools, and the grass is cut, so now leasing increases because the curb appeal is back. Who wants to go and move into a place that doesn't cut the grass? That's a horrible first impression. I mean, to me, that stuff is all common sense, and hopefully to you it's common sense. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes you want to save a couple of bucks, but it's not worth stepping over dollars in order to pick up pennies and dimes. You got to spend the money, continue managing the property the right way, doing the right thing. It's not just good for you economically, but it's the right thing from a humankind standpoint to do, is take care of a property and turn it over. So we bought, I don't know, 60, 70 sets of appliances, got flooring done in a whole bunch of units, got all the tenants either back paying or evicted anybody who didn't come current. And there aren't any tenants now with more than a 30-day delinquency. And then pools are open, grass is cut, everything's moving forward. And it's a totally different vibe at the property. The buyer's happy, and guess what? Everything's moving along, we're making more money, and we don't have to worry about the buyer backing out. So it boggles my mind that people don't think through this stuff, but I want you to learn from my mistakes so that way you don't lose $500,000 to something stupid like this happening in your own organization or in your own portfolio. So take this, learn from me, don't make the same mistakes that I do, and go make more money than I will. Hey, if this was helpful for you, please like the video, give me your biggest takeaway. If you have any horror stories, I'd love to hear them. Misery loves company. And put it in the comments below. And if you know somebody else who can get some good value out of this, please share this video, push it out to other people so that way they don't make the same mistakes that me and my business partner, my joint venture partner did. And they don't lose hundreds of thousands of dollars like we did on this. Now, at the end of the day, we're still making a boatload of money, but we shouldn't have had to take that loss. So share the video, please like, please subscribe, and hit me up on social media, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I'm active on all those things, all those different platforms. Shoot me a friend request and let's just stay engaged. So appreciate you guys.